So for the longest time, I was completely against this, but I think I might be wrong. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This channel's all about photography, and I think it's got something for you. So if you end up liking this video, please do consider liking and subscribing to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about why I think you should consider using film simulations, creative looks, whatever your camera has for inbuilt filters. This type of creative filter has been around for quite some time. I remember the first camera I started with, an old digital Canon, had a way to adjust the picture profile or the standard picture that came within the camera. But they didn't become popular until Fujifilm decided to create film simulations. So Fujifilm, better than any camera brand, has created these film simulations that are meant to mimic or sort of emulate old Fujifilm film stocks in camera. So you can use their cameras and effectively shoot and capture images in camera that look just like old film. And I think this makes Fujifilm cameras a ton of fun to shoot with. And it's been so successful that we've started to see other camera brands like Sony, for example, starting to implement this into their cameras. Now here's the really important thing about these film simulations, is you can use them in camera without necessarily screwing up or committing to it in your raw file. So I can set up a film simulation, use it to frame up and capture my image, and then export a raw file that's totally untouched, as if there was never a film simulation used. But why would you want this, a film simulation that doesn't save to your file? I think the biggest thing is changing your shooting experience. The number one reason I think you should consider using this is because it will change your shooting experience. They are a tool that you can use to get your image to look a lot more like what you expect your edit to be. So you can preview something that's much closer to your editing style than you might otherwise get with your camera. So I mostly shoot on Sony cameras, and the standard profile is great, but it's definitely not quite like the style I like to edit my photos to. So what I like to do instead is switch on some of the creative looks, so like the FL or the IN look, and it ends up making my photo shooting experience look a lot closer to what my end edit will be. This helps me a ton because while I'm out shooting, I can tell right away if I think the colors and the image will work because I'm already halfway through the edit before I've even gone to my computer. Similarly, with the Fujifilm X100V, the camera that totally turned me on to these, I like to use the classic negative or the classic chrome look. I find that both of these are just a lot more fun and interesting to shoot with, but again, are a lot closer to my editing style than the standard Fujifilm kind of preset look. So in both cases, film simulations or creative looks can get you a lot closer to your final edit and give you a better preview of what your final image might look like. The second reason I think you should consider these is because they'll both inspire you and challenge you in a new way. So like I said at the beginning of the video, I never thought I'd vouch for these. I thought it was much better to stick with plain old raw photos in camera and not worry about these. They're a gimmick. But the reality is once I started using the X100V, I just had a lot of fun shooting. I found that the film simulations were inspiring me to capture more because things just looked good in camera. And that really changed my way of shooting. But I also was able to switch to things like the Acros black and white film simulation, and that really challenged me in a different way because I wasn't seeing things in color, I'm just focused much more on the light itself and framing and capturing that light. So I think you can use these both as a way to inspire yourself to capture photos, but also you can switch up the different film simulations or the different creative looks to challenge yourself in a new way. But didn't I say that these aren't saved to your photos? So what if you end up exporting it and actually wanting the look built in? Well, here's the thing. In most cases, these are actually saved into the metadata. So with an editing program like Lightroom, you can go in and change the creative look or change the film emulation after the fact. So you can actually play with all of the different film simulations and see which one does look best on your photo. And you can do all of this while maintaining that original untouched raw file. Now I do have one word of caution around using these, and that's because it will change how your exposure looks. So take a look at this. This is the Sony FL look. And if I switch this on, you can see that the exposure looks to change. My histogram shifts upward because the highlights appear a lot brighter. And this is a little bit misleading because the raw file or the standard preset would show that it's not that bright. So this profile tends to lead me to underexpose my images a bit. And this can be a bit of a concern, but the reality is for the most part, these cameras are good enough. The dynamic range is good enough to deal with if I'm slightly off in exposure. But it is worth saying, if you need critical exposure, it's worth turning these off, going to your standard profile to make sure that your exposure is just right. If you have a camera that has these film simulations or creative looks or some way for you to modify and have a little bit of fun with the standard look to your photos in camera, I really think you should use it. Now, I think you should use it and still export a basic RAW photo so that you've got full flexibility. But I think it's a way to inspire your photography, to get you a little bit closer to the final edit, and frankly, just have a bit more fun. You need to be aware of how using these might change your exposure. It's a little thing to watch out for, but I think you can manage it. I hope this is helpful. I want to hear from you. Are you going to use these creative looks? Do you have them available? What's your favorite one? And if you found this video entertaining, please do like and subscribe. There's plenty more on the way. Thanks.